Hey, hey everybody. It is 11:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is New York City time. And guess what? We have the dancing geospace magnetosphere models again tonight. I mean, they were not like this earlier today. I was watching it, but now, again, which we've seen happen multiple times, they're going crazy again tonight. Hey, Mary. Hey, Isabel. Greetings, y'all. I see there's quite a few people on here, but I can't see who you are at this point. Can only see two of you. Okay, here we go. Hey, Pamela. All right, let's go ahead and watch. Here it goes. Oh, did you see it? Let's start at the beginning. Boom. Boom, ba-doom. It's got all kinds of excitement going on tonight. And here it's winding back up and wham! Now, those of you who are new, let me pull out a pointer here. Got a little sculpting tool. This is Earth. This is the same thing. This is a different angle. And right in the middle here, you see this little tiny thing. Half white, half black, that's Earth. Day side, night side. This is the side the sun is on. And boom, these are the shields, or the bow shock. You see it. And then it kind of disappears. And then it's back. The bow shock is what is supposed to catch all this intense. Wow, did you see that? That just came out of like nowhere. It's supposed to catch all this intense energy and capture it so that it doesn't come inside our atmosphere and whack us. And you might say, well, like, what does that mean? And what would that do? And what does it mean to us? Casey, no, you cannot cuss on here. Oh, my word. I just happened to see that. How funny. She's playing, that's all. All right. You want to hear what I say when I want to cuss? I say, well, cuss. My friends laugh at me. Okay. I think cussing is way too negative to tolerate myself. I don't want to say words like that out of my mouth. Bang! Did you see that? Let's watch that again. That's crazy. Okay, watch. Oh, did it bypass us somehow? It did. Hold on, let me go back to the there. I don't see it now. Isn't that crazy? It just sort of exploded out of nowhere with no warning. So red is the most intense energy on this particular chart, and this is the pressure chart. Boom. Okay, it started itself again. Now watch the slider. It's going across on the bottom. It's to about halfway. Coming over to about right now, and this is happening right now. Kabooey. All right. Bam! All right. Woohoo! Now, this covers about, let me back off and show you. This slider at the bottom covers about 3 hours of time. And over here is about right now. Red is the most intense, and you can see it is just exploding all over the place with pressure. We're surrounded by it. Looks like the flying fiery phoenix, doesn't it? Okay, I'm not going to talk or stay on here long. Once again, I'm really tired. It's just so much going on in my life right now. So many intense decisions, and I have to be right on top of things and meeting with people and making decisions. Look at that. Wow. Let's take a quick gander here at density. Density is the dark blue is the most intense and white is the background. And look at the bow shock. Whack. Look at just blow the thing back. You can see whack. It just went away. All this energy is getting inside our atmosphere with us. And it's pretty intense stuff. Kablooey. Okay, let's take a quick look here at velocity, and the most intense is dark blue, then green, yellow, orange, and then dark red is the background. We're seeing no dark red here. And there's the scrambled eggs look, and there's the, look at that. It's dramatic stuff, isn't it? Boom, you see the blue coming from behind and under, and wow, look at that. Watch how this washes right through. Do you see the shields are holding nothing back? Watch. All that just cuts right through despite the shield's efforts. It's coming through in here with us. So what does that mean? That means that these intense energies coming from outer space, from the direction of the sun, are hitting our shields and coming inside, and all that energy is bathing us. Now, you can say solar radiation, but you know sunshine is solar radiation. It's nothing to be afraid about. You can say a lot of words for it. You can say photonic energy. That's really what we're dealing with. We're dealing with light energy. Photons, photonic light, and that is what activates our DNA. Light is what they use in a scientific setting to activate or change DNA. Light does that, and that is what's coming in on us and triggering these amazing DNA upgrades and shifts and changes in our brains and our nervous systems. And thank you, Becca. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. She sent me some stars. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Big hugs to you, girl. I feel the love. As we're watching this and I'm blabbering. Hey, Betsy. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of old friends on here. Well, Curtis, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And you know, that is kind of a note of contention with many people. They get as upset about it as they do about politics and about diet. I'd rather avoid it here if you don't mind. It doesn't matter. What does that have to do with your thoughts there? This is not showing anything contrary to that. There's Earth. This is the atmosphere. You believe in an atmosphere, don't you? Or maybe your flat Earth has no air. I don't know. I think you're just trying to stir something up. And I don't really enjoy being stirred up. All right, here we go. But you can certainly believe whatever you like. And I'm too tired for this. I'm not going to respond to anything that's... Wow, look at that. That is just astounding. I'm just amazed. And this has been this way for how many nights in a row? Look at that. Earlier today, it was kind of twisting. You could see it was taking a tilt up this way, and this side would be down like that. Or vice versa. There's a lot going on right now. So when this comes inside our atmosphere, and it hits us, we experience different symptoms as our DNA is being upgraded, as we are creating new neurosynaptic connections in our brain, new pathways through our brain. It takes a lot of work, and often you'll feel sleepy when this is going on, and that's the way that we process these energies, is through rest or sleep is the best way to implement the upgrades, the new software, hardware, whatever it is, and also through meditation and prayer. And those are very good ways to go about it. And when the energies are high, you'll hear me say often, be good to your wee little selves, because it's going to push you. It's going to press you into a place that may not be as comfortable as what you're used to. And when the brain and the nervous system get pushed a little out of their comfort zone, you may feel annoyed or irritated or highly emotional or dizzy, or you may have physical symptoms. Like our list, one of the big ones is a headache or dizziness or nausea, or there's so many different things. I get stingy tingles, I call them. Feels like I'm being tingled and a little tiny faint stings all over my skin, especially my head and my arms. I'm feeling a little of this on me right now. It's the reason I went to look to see what was happening, was because I will be fiddling with my hair, with my face. I'll find myself kind of gently scratching and touching areas, and I think, wait, is there something to this? Came over here and look at all this intense energy. Look at the bow shock and watch it be blown away. Just blown away. Everything, there's the bow shock, and the energy just comes in. That's density, explodes out. But then we see in one of these images, it just comes and washes right through. Hang on, there, look at that. It's all around us. And this looks like a sock blowing in the wind. This is intense stuff. Looks like an eyeball there, doesn't it? So how do you help yourself if you're feeling stress or distressed or symptoms you're not enjoying? How do you help yourself? Well, one thing you can do is you can ground yourself. You can walk outside, take your shoes off, walk barefoot on the grass, or if the temperature and the weather doesn't suit that, then just walk outside and take the palms of your hands and put them on the trunk of the biggest tree you can find and hold them there for about a minute or two, and it will literally drain out the excess energy, because sometimes we get overcharged with all this energy, and it can cause you to have all kinds of overwhelm type symptoms. Now let's come back down here and watch pressure again. And red is the most intense, dark blue is the background, and look at that. Mercy. Okay, it's resetting itself. It's starting at the beginning. And we have the fiery phoenix. So you can ground yourself. If you have a grounding bracelet, or I should say wristband, hang on, I'm going to find mine. And I'm going to put it on because I've got those stingy tingles, like I said. Here we go. I still haven't put the one on my bed in place. I used to wear it all night. I moved my bed and everything is wonky. Here it is. This is what mine looks like. This is like, well, it's a blue version. There's also a black band. It has like, see if you can see better. It has a metal plate. That's the conductive part. And then it's plugged in like a snap here. And it's an adjustable band. And then the end of it is plugged into your outlet in the wall. There's a hole, an opening in your outlet. that is a grounding outlet. It goes to a spike driven into the ground with a wire coming from it. And that will ground your whole system to 0 frequency, which is the earth. And it will drain all that energy out, just like walking barefoot or like putting your hands on a tree trunk. Or if you were to lie down on the ground, if you're wearing the right kind of clothing, it would work and go right through and accomplish grounding you. The other thing is wear your necklaces, the pendants and things. Scalar energy is really good. I'm wearing mine as usual. I always wear my scalar energy pendants. One day I forgot. I don't remember why I took it off, but I forgot, and we had some heavy energy that day, and I got a crushing headache, and I just don't do headaches. Here's one of the pendants. This is not the one I'm wearing. This one is the Black Stone Atomic pendant. It's also our smallest one. It's very thin, as you can see, and look at all the stones on the back. All of these create amazing things, and what most people say when they put one of these on is that they feel very calm, like a stillness comes all through their body and their mind, and it helps bring us into a balance and a harmony. Also, shungite. Here's some of my shungite. I play with it often when I sit at my desk. These are the ones that are like little marbles. They're polished stones of shungite, which has unusual properties. I have bags of this sitting on top of my Wi-Fi router. Why? Because I don't want the vibes coming from the Wi-Fi messing with me, draining me and messing with my energy. And it will. But if you put shungite on top, it will neutralize that negative electromagnetic frequency and so forth, but it does not hinder the signal. Isn't that something? Now, if you put a pile of scalar pendants on top, it might actually affect the signal. Or orgonite will affect the signal. If you put tourmaline on top of, you know, a Wi-Fi router or whatever, it can actually interrupt the signal. But shungite amazingly neutralizes the harmful effects, but it still has its power. So wear all that stuff and use all that if you have it right now. Otherwise, you can go outside and take a walk barefoot. It doesn't take long, maybe a minute or two, and you should feel different. Or do the hands on the tree. That's some of the ways that you can be good to yourself. You also want to stay hydrated. While we're watching all this, I'm just talking to you. Look at that. That's amazing. It just hasn't stopped. It's been like this going on forever. Things are arriving at our atmosphere. This, of course, is the outer edges of our atmosphere. Up there is the ionosphere, which covers the 3 layers at the top. And then you come down to the troposphere at the bottom. It's fascinating, the layers, but it's only about 300 and something feet high. And that's something. So, yeah, all this is hitting. And when we see it hitting the shields, you notice the shields come in and out. Well, so does our atmosphere. Look at that. Talk about being compressed. How can we not feel this? Thank goodness we don't feel it as much as the power we're watching. I mean, not as much as it looks like. I hope that made sense. So, boom, look at it. Wow. And watch the slider. This will give you the whole picture. Coming across. The shields appear in another slam. Oh, it reset itself. Let me put it to the middle. Let's watch it as it comes into now. boom, and this is about right now, and it's looking fairly calm. Boom. Okay, this is where you see the time. It's in UTC time. I had never used Universal Time or UTC before, but many places in the world do. And you gotta think a different way. So I got a little clock I picked up on an app store that shows me what time it is UTC. It is 3:53 UTC right now. This is Eastern Standard Time. It's just before midnight here. Let's go back and look here and look up. It's showing the time coming across. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's at 2 UTC right now. Boom, coming across, about to hit 3. And there we are. This prognosticates just a little bit ahead of time. It's a program that has AI reading what's happening and uses what's happening and then predicts a little bit at the very end as to what will come. It's a very cool program, and we've seen a lot of amazing stuff as we watch it. So why do we watch these energies for you new folk? I repeat myself a lot lately, because so often people just come on the chat and they say, what does this mean? If you want me to answer, you're going to have to be a little more specific than that. I'm like, oh, what does what mean? Which part? I mean, this is complex. We watch the Schumann resonance. We watch the magnetosphere. We watch solar flares and coronal holes from the sun. We watch a lot of things on this page. And it took me quite a while to get to where I understand what I understand, which I'm no pro. I'm not professional. I'm not trained by school. I don't have a degree. I have learned by observing. And like I tell you all over and over, you are the best instrument in the world. Your body and your nervous system can feel this stuff. You can feel what's coming in if you're sensitive. And, you know, being sensitive is a fact of life for many people. Look at that. And some people aren't so sensitive. And bless you, I kind of envy you sometimes. People who are empathic will pick up what's happening in their neighborhood or family, the people in the room where they are. Walking through a hospital is hard for me because I feel it all. And we have to learn what is ours and what is not ours, what we're feeling. You can feel the whole earth, the whole world reacting sometimes, and it can be really intense. And if you're sensitive in many different ways, whether you call yourself psychic or you know, gifted or a seer or empathic or prophetic or whatever, it means you have different equipment. You have antennae that other people don't have. And if you don't have that, and you're not feeling anything ever when these things are going on, I challenge you. Take note when you're feeling just a little bit irritated or a little out of sorts or a little wonky, or you have brain fog or something. People respond differently, and being conscious, part of that is just noticing what's going on with yourself. And you can become more sensitive, and you may not want to do that, but we come on here and we watch this, not only so we can understand what we're experiencing and that we're not alone, that there are other people on this page. Of course, we are now at 10 million people are visiting the page every 28 days. Can you believe it? I've never hit 10 million before. I just can't even conceive of that. We are not alone. Look at how many of us are coming and watching. And this is Earth. Little bitty Earth right here looks so little. All this coming in on us, and it's part of coming into the new era. I mean, this is really exciting stuff. Let me see. The problem is I can't look at it on my iPad, or I would read you some of what, if you go back to, well, you're on my page watching this, I'm not. But if you go to the top of the page, you'll see what is called a featured post or pinned post at the top. I can only put 5 things up there. That's all that's allowed. And I think I have less than that right now. It won't let me put him, or I don't know why. I used to have a newbie video that I kept up there, but when Facebook wiped out all the videos that are older than 30 days, there's no need to even try and put it up there. You can go to my YouTube channel, and I have those saved on there, many videos, and you can go check them out. But if you go to the top to the featured post, you're going to see, number one, you'll see a link to my online store where you can get all these cool things to help you feel better and thrive with all these energies. The next thing you might see is called the Schumann Kit. And the Schumann Kit will have just about everything you could possibly want to know. It's like a compilation of things I put together. I wrote articles for it. I included other people's articles or pieces of them. I put charts in it. And I explain what different people believe about the incoming energies and why we're watching it. Their term ascension, I'd never heard it before until I got into all this. Well, ascension is like the word rapture. It refers to a changing and growing up and becoming more loving and becoming brighter and more filled with light and love and being transformed. Some places might call it like a type of sanctification, being set apart and changed, consciously upgraded in your DNA and in your heart and the way you feel. Your love capacity will expand and grow greater during these times if you're cooperating and seeking and wanting to align with these energies. And the reason we're being upgraded is to prepare us for the new Earth, for 5D, fifth dimension, for this amazing new level that is going to be coming in, a new era. We're at the end of an era. That's why we're seeing so much turmoil, such dynamic change. It goes with prophecies that have been written over the millennia. It goes with biblical things. The dark people are getting darker and the light people are getting lighter. Many of us are receiving supernatural upgrades, gifts, and abilities we didn't have before. The ability to operate in miraculous things is increasing. The ability to hear and to know and hear what some people might call the voice of God or the voice of the Spirit or truth or prophetic lines that flow throughout the whole universe. If you have the wiring and the antennae that can hear those things, then you may very well be hearing them more and more as time goes by. We're all being upgraded. We're being changed. What was her name? Diana Troy, was that her name on Star Trek? She was an empath. There are gifts, and they're very useful, and they are increasing in us. As this photonic energy is coming in, which I believe is a divine intervention, preparing us for what is coming, an intervention to cause us to be able to come out of this morass and this place that we've been sort of living in, where there's such hate And there's such greed and envy and fear and war and people hurting other people and people hurting the earth and the creatures and the animals of the earth. All this is low frequency crap. And it belongs to 3D, a third density. And it's low level. And it includes brokenness and very limited sight and vision and understanding, and fear is at the root of it. And you can say, well, why? Well, many different cultures and many spiritual traditions tell about a time where something like a snake or reptilian came and deceived us. And all of a sudden we forgot who we were and we saw ourselves as separated from God's source. And it was a low time. It was a bad thing. And we're still trying to climb out of this binary way of looking at things. Instead of seeing light and dark are connected, we see dark as an enemy and light as a friend. We don't understand. It's like two sides of the same coin. Male and female. There's contention. You know, one thinks one is better than the other and puts down the other one. And it's silly. It's like two sides of the same coin. We are to live in oneness and to love and enjoy our differences and the things that are, you know, different in us, the different strengths and so forth. It is a mindset. It was like a blindness that came and a deafness. And many people believe we lost a lot of our strands of DNA, at least one, and it's being restored. Some people say we have at least 12 that were lost. You know, the total would have been 12. As it is, we only have 2. But some of us, our DNA is being restored during these times. One of the main reasons for my page, and I have an assignment, I have a mission. One of the things the Lord told me was to not correct people, not try to correct people. Why? Because everyone is where they are, and they believe what they believe. And who am I to judge? Who am I to say? And I'm getting over that tendency that we all have in reality. We think, you know, it's a funny story. My brother, Donnie, he told the story about my mother. She had a quirky thing. She always peeled tomatoes. She would not eat tomato unless it was thoroughly peeled. And she spoke about it so with such great conviction that Donnie, as an adult, just several years ago, told a funny story about how our next door neighbors, which Clotilde, I know that's a different kind of name. It is actually an ancient name. Her name was Clotilde. She was like my grandmother. She was closer to me than my grandmother because my grandmothers lived 300 miles away. Well, we loved Clotilde and her husband Dewey. Isn't that a great name? And their daughter Marthola. And I can't make fun of anybody's name. I have a very different name. I loved Marthola. She was a beautiful model. She was about my mother's age. She was like a second mom to me. And Donnie said, you know, we knew, he's always thought that that Clotilde and Dewey and Marthola and John were good people. You know, really good people. But I realized that they did not peel their tomatoes. And the way Mother was so strong about peeling tomatoes, and anyone who didn't bother to peel their tomatoes was lazy and lacking in industry. Well, Donnie, when he was young, he thought it was just very confusing how our neighbors could be good people at the same time and yet not peel their tomatoes. We carry a lot of stuff with us, beloved. All the things we got from our families, from our culture, from the nations and towns that we live in. And we gotta just open our minds a little more. So the Lord told me not to correct people, and I try not to. Now and then people will get on there and say something hateful, and I just want to say something back. It never turns out well. I should do what I'm supposed to, but some days I just say something. Well, anyway, the other thing is, I experience these crazy symptoms, just like you all do, many of you. And I felt alone too, because other people felt fine, weren't feeling these things. And when we come together on this page, we realize we're not alone, and it's priceless. So this page is a place for us to come together and observe the Schumann resonance and observe space weather, solar flares and such, which directly impact us also. Those energies come in, and as we observe these things together, we understand better what we are experiencing, or why we have that headache, or why, our hands and feet feel on fire, or why we feel like somebody turned us upside down all of a sudden, and we're dizzy, or whatever. Or some people, there are a lot of symptoms that many people experience, and oddly, you will see the same repeated symptoms showing up in the comments. It's not random. One day, people will all be talking about how their eyesight is kind of foggy and off, or they're not focusing well. Now, I wear my pendants. I wear these scalar energy devices, the bracelet. I use earthing technology. I stay hydrated. I do everything I can for myself, because I used to really, really suffer. But I don't very often anymore. And I'm very grateful for that. That's why I've shared this technology with you all. It's why I went out and searched all over the world, literally, to find the best stuff. Because I've been wearing energy devices, since the late 90s, mid to late 90s. And I have found better and better stuff as the years have gone by. And I located it at a really high quality and really beautiful. You won't see these designs anyplace else that I know of. Only a couple of them will you see anyplace else. And the price is much more than what I'm able to offer to you, because I looked and found the best price. I also have a pendant that if you cannot afford anything else, I have one that is only $20. And I purposely did that because it cost me less than the others. And I don't make anything to speak of on it, and that's fine, because I want everyone to be able to afford this beautiful technology that helps us all flow better and feel better and do better. And it doesn't block anything. It helps your body flow with these energies. It's not hindering you from ascension. It just helps you feel better while you're going through it. So take care of your wee little selves, and take comfort from the kindred spirits and the people on the page who understand what you're experiencing and what you're going through. And realize you don't have to feel like you have 3 eyes and 4 ears when you're on our page, because we understand one another. And I see compassion between you so much, and I love it. I love seeing one saying what they're going through, and then others will join in, and one will say, I understand, I am feeling that way too. Another will say, I was, but I did this and it helped me. Or another will say, hang in there, this too will pass. kindness makes life worth living, in my opinion. It really does. And you all are the best. You hear me say that a lot on the page, but I really do mean it. You are the best. You are. You're a really, really unique bunch. Really, really unique. You are the kindest I've seen on social media. You are thoughtful, considerate. You are unique. We don't have all the fighting and insulting on our page. And even though I've never made rules about anything, language is kind and positive on the page most of the time too. And you all are a unique group. I am so thankful for you. So I just wanted to come on before I hit the hay, because I am tired. And it's, I'm sure it's the energies. It's also some things I'm going through. It's all resolved now, but they found a leak to there's construction going on in my property because I'm building an RV campground on my 12 acres. And I felt led to do this back after the whole COVID debacle. You know, a place where people can have their own space, but can come outside and sit around a campfire and hang out. And it's just a very healthy atmosphere out here in the country. It's going to be a gated community. It's going to be really nice. And it's very expensive for me. But thank goodness I have someone who is financing this, although I've got to pay them all back, pay them everything back plus interest. But they've made it possible for me to do this. So all this is going on. I'm dealing with the contractor. I'm dealing with heavy equipment going all the time on my property. They found a big leak somewhere and they couldn't find where it was. Oh, look, we just went into KP4. Oh my goodness, what's getting ready to happen? So on another level here. Of course, that's the entryway, the entry level into solar storms. But it's the very beginning, KP4. So, they found a big leak, but they didn't know where it was, and there's been a lot of digging, and a lot of water lines have been busted. It's been fun. And I'm like kind of sweating it out, thinking, gee whiz, hundreds of gallons, and we don't even know where it is. So I dealt with that. And then, oddly, they were down in my basement checking to see if there might be a leak there. It's not a basement, it's a crawl space. I don't know why I say basement. I guess it's because my family always called it a basement, though all they had was a crawl space also. Someone came out and said, your basement, your crawl space is full of mold, black mold. And I'm like, what? It didn't have that last time. I was down there, and they said, oh, it's bad. And then they had a specialist come. And the specialist informed me, oh, my nose is tickling. Woohoo! That means you're going to have company, isn't that it? Anyway, the specialist informed me it was going to cost, you ready for this, $29,000 to fix my little bitty crawl space. Get rid of the mold, do all this special treatment, and then they wanted to encapsulate everything in heavy plastic sheets and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, huh. And they kind of wanted to scare me. And then the plumber that came to fix several things in my house, which have been wrong during all this construction and heavy equipment work, because they busted water lines over and over, and it's caused dirt and tiny rock to get into my water lines, and it's messed up faucets. There's been so much going on. Every time I took a bath, the cold water on the bath spigot barely dripped. So I had to take water from the sink to the tub, and the rest of it was just straight hot water. So every time I did a Epsom salt bath, it was a long, drawn-out experience. That's been going on for over a year. Well, that got fixed. Thank God. I'm so grateful. But that was quite a bit of money. He had to replace faucets and work on lines and stuff. And I told him what the guy had said about the mold in the basement. He said, I didn't see any mold. And I thought, Anyway, he said, I'd be glad to go down and look again. And I showed him the photos the man had sent me that were supposedly, see, I'm still getting the tingling. See me fidgeting. They actually sent me photos that were supposed to be of my basement showing this awful mold. He went down there and he said, it's not, those pictures are not your basement. They were trying to manipulate me. And I just had a big wait thing inside me. He said, you have a little bit of mold. He said, but that's just from condensation from above the air conditioning unit, part of which is in your basement. He said, that could be eradicated very easily. And I'm like, thank goodness. So we went from leaks that were knocking out hundreds of gallons into Neverland, finding the leak, taking care of it, having some work done in my house, finding out about this mold. This was all within the last week and a half. And then I've had the death threats. That's bothered me, that anyone would be so filled with hate. And it was someone off of Facebook. I mean, emailing me and threatening me, and then had those people that have been following me in a car and all that. It's pray for everybody and send love and good things to every person who is in the public eye. Things have shifted and people are acting crazy. I'm not afraid. I know I'm protected. But that's just sort of the top of it. That's just a few things. There's a whole bunch more. Also had my iron plummeted. So I was running around anemic. There were a lot of things. It's a long list and I won't go into all of it. But it's so stressful. And I have been kind of tired because it really pushed me to my limits in many ways. And I've had to reach for divine strength to move through it. And I was not very present on Facebook. Wasn't answering many of your comments. Wasn't coming on live because I had to be careful with my energy. And I had to do what you all call self-care. I had to take care of my own little wee self. And I tend to recover from things quickly. It's amazing. I forget about things very quickly and move on. And I think it's just a gift. And I'm very grateful for it. But I know many of you have been going through a lot of things. But just encourage yourself. Don't ever speak harshly to yourself. Don't ever call yourself stupid or an idiot or chastise or fuss at yourself for things that are happening. You don't need that. You know, words are powerful, and the words to our own hearts are powerful. Instead, do what little David did when he stood before the giant Goliath and encourage yourself. Remember your past victories. You remember the story? He stood before this huge giant, and he was just a little teenager. And all he had was a sling and a few rocks. And this Goliath guy had this massive sword that was the size of a weaver's beam, it says. gigantic. And what did David do when he stood before the giant? He said to him, you will be like the lion that came against my flock, because he was a shepherd. He said, this lion came to destroy my flock, and I went after him and took him by his beard and slew him. You will be like the lion, and you will be like the bear that I stopped from harming my flock. And he went through a list of victories. And sometimes we have to do that when we stand before the giants and the Goliaths in our own lives. Never talk yourself down. Never agree with enemies. Never speak death or defeat over yourself. Be good to your wee little self. Be kind. Treat yourself like you would a precious, valuable little child. You would be really angry if you saw a little child being treated like sometimes you may have spoken to yourself. Don't do it. Say, tonight I'm not going to do it anymore. But remember this, if you fail, if you mess up, if you don't hold up to your own standards and your own desires, forgive yourself quickly and move on like it never happened. Choose. You're not going to do that again if you can. Forgive yourself with kindness and love and move forward. Because if you go into beating yourself up and thinking mean thoughts and trying to punish yourself, it will only embed that behavior in you deeper. It will only reinforce it with emotion and passion and really negative feelings, and it will drive it deeper into you like a splinter that can become not infested, but infected and can become, abscessed. You don't want to bury the stuff. You don't want to add negative. Instead, respond with love to yourself and move on in forgiveness like it never happened. Move on to do differently and better. That's a key to moving forward. Anything else forms a cycle. You don't want that. Same thing with the way we treat each other. There's no need to jump on anybody or talk them down or call them names or any of that. You can speak the truth with love. The main thing is to just love people right where they are as best you can. We're moving and going into beautiful times. Wonderful things are happening. These energies that are coming, these blasts of light, are for us, not against us. And I'll quote you an ancient scripture. All things are possible to them who believe. Here's another one. You can have whatever you say. Speak to that mountain. Whatever your mountain is in your life, say, be removed and be cast into the sea, and it will obey you. And only now do we understand through quantum physics the power of words and the frequencies and the vibrations attached to them. They have the plants that died when people spoke over them with anger and called them bad names and cursed them. And the plants that were spoken kindly to and were called beautiful things, they thrived. Well, your car responds the same way. Everything is energy. Everything is vibrating and responding, especially to human beings, our thoughts, our intentions, our words, our vibe. The whole earth is made to respond to us. So let's just amp it up. Let's just go a little higher. Let's amp this whole thing up, and we can start with ourselves and those that are around us. So beloved, I love you. Now I'm not going to show you the charts again. I think we looked at them enough. They are good, but you can go back, pardon me, and look at them again if you like, because I will replay this and I will put into replay immediately after we get off of here. And I'm watching right now. Yeah? Okay, I will show you. A whole new wave just hit us. Let's skip across to right here. Coming up on now, and watch. Here's the slider, and look what happens towards the end. Boom. Yep, it is still going on. Here's the slider. Reset itself. There's the slider coming across, and boom. A whole new something is coming in. Let's see what it looks like on this one. Coming across. About now. And look. A whole new thing coming in. So it's an exciting night. If you have trouble sleeping, I like to listen to books on audio, and I'll put a timer on it so it will turn itself off and I won't have to turn it off if I've fallen asleep. Other thing is meditate. Pray while you're having trouble going to sleep. I jokingly say there are forces that don't want you to do that. They will prefer to help you go to sleep instead of oppose you. Or just rest and try not to be frustrated. And you might want to ground yourself and see if that will help you. But I fall asleep quickly myself, but I have been waking up between 2 and 4 almost every night. And I don't go back to sleep right away. And this is not my normal pattern, but it has to do with these energies, I feel pretty sure. And you can also wake up not feeling terribly rested and like you'd like to sleep a lot later. And if you can take a nap during the day, do it. Because rest is the best way to process these incoming energies. Rest, meditation, and sleep. So take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves and those around you and your little pets. There's Sugar. I don't know where Chipper is. See if you can see Sugar here. Hang on. There she is. There's that little baby girl. Yeah, we're talking about you. Okay. I have the answer. Chip is on the mouse watch. I declare that mouse is in cahoots with them. Anyway, they're having a great time of it, apparently. They don't kill the mouse. They just play with it, and it seems to cooperate. I wanted to stop that. I wanted to move out. Tiny. I saw it. Briefly, it's a tiny little field mouse. They're really cute. But my cats, they don't harm the mouse. They just want to play with it. I can't seem to talk them out of it. Okay, y'all. Will we speak life and peace to that little mouse too? And if I can catch it, I will take it down to the lake with the rest of its family, where I've taken other mice from the past. The things I tell you all, living in the country, you will see a mouse now and then. So, much love to you all. And I hope you sleep well tonight. But if you don't, if you're up, try not to be frustrated and let your body rest and go into a meditation and you will go into a zone that will rest your body even if you can't sleep. Love you a lot. Nighty night.